All right. Hey, how are you doing? I am Dr. Jason Bradley, the founder of Epic Functional Medicine, and it is Wednesday, November 4th, and this is episode 0 of the this again of the Hashi's Heroes podcast. I haven't fully landed on the podcast name yet, and I'm just using this space right now to just kind of set this up for myself and for all of you guys. And as you guys know, I've been working on a Wednesday podcast already. I just got done recording my last episode. And on that podcast, we talked today a little bit about, boy, if I was more prepared for this video, I'd be happy. But today we talked more about making small choices and having big outcomes. And, certainly we're going to be loading that up to YouTube. And, we don't have the packaging done with that podcast. I don't know a name for that. It's been loosely called Wellness Wednesdays with Dr. B. I'm sure we'll come up with something else. But we've been loading those up to YouTube. And we're going to do the same thing with this podcast as well. But this one is going to be about Hashi's Heroes. And what I've been doing, I've already been, for the last couple of weeks, collecting stories where I'm chatting with people from all around the country, talking to them about their struggles and successes with dealing with their thyroid and Hashi's issues, right? And it's been an interesting time period, so to speak. I'm just learning. I've been working with thyroid and Hashi's clients, patients, for over 2 decades. And, I myself, as you guys know, am a thyroid and Hashi's patient myself. And, in 2004, I almost lost everything to my disorder, my disease. I don't like to call it that, but whatever that is, that Hashi's and thyroid problem that I was having. I was waking up every morning exhausted when my alarm would go off. I would trudge through the morning, basically getting an IV line for coffee and caffeine. I can't even tell you how much coffee I was going through, but I know that Starbucks took a large percentage of my take-home pay. And I had brain fog, I had migraines, headaches, I had migrating pain through my whole body. I was weak, I was sore, I weighed 275 pounds. I had, no mental wherewithal. I was suffering in mood, memory, focus, and recall. Like I said, I had no energy, I had no libido, no way to think straight, and yet I was trying to trudge through my day. And I ended up having to leave work, even though I thought I was a brilliant doctor at the time. But in 2004, I ended up leaving work because I had to attend to my own health. Doctor, heal thyself, right? So I had to attend to my own health. I went back and taught at the university and used my research time trying to figure me out. And I spent from 2004 to 2007 hacking Hashimoto's. I wanted to figure out what causes it. So I went into autoimmune theory and looking at immunology and trying to understand triggers and what do we need to, sort out. Is it heavy metals? Is it food sensitivities, infections, too much of a nutrient, too much of a hormone? What else could be throwing off our system so much that we're creating antibodies that attack our own body? So I wanted to sort that piece out and look at the theories there. I learned everything that I could about getting bad stuff out of the body. I learned, everything I could about repairing the gut wall and leaky gut and rehabbing or rehabbing, restoring, I'm not sure the word that we want here, but the adrenal glands, the thyroid glands, the sex hormones, figuring out which foods are nutrient dense to help drive the system, to drive the thyroid to work the way that we want, to drive the immune system the way that we want. And I figured me out. I mean, I literally lost 100 pounds and I've kept it off since 2007. I have boundless energy for the most part throughout the entire day. I have meaningful relationships with my wife and my kids and our friends. I'm actively involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, so to speak. I have a lot of duties at the clinic. We're serving more and more people worldwide. And I've got a lot of what we call black ops, my podcasts, my books, the publishings, the writings, the meanderings that I do, right? So my life has transformed since 2007. And since that point in the last 13 years, 14 years, all that we've done is just honed in on what's the best of that. By 2007, we'd figured out lots of things that worked. We figured out how to make them work the most efficiently. We got rid of all the fluff and we really honed it down into how can we take someone that's been suffering with Hashi's and thyroid conditions. Hashi's, it doesn't have to be fully Hashi's. It could be a thyroid, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, euthyroid 6 syndrome. Any of those, the thyroid's just not working, whether it's autoimmune or not. Our question has been, how quickly can we get them? How quickly can we get them back to work, so to speak, back to working, back to productivity? How quickly can we help them lose the weight, have the energy, get their libido back, help with mood, memory, focus, and recall, have them get their lives back, take back their health, take back their lives, take back their happiness? what's the quickest we can do it, right? So we spent the last 10, 15 years just developing that system. What's the best of the best? And what I want to do in this series, this podcast series, which we're laying down the foundation for right now, is a number of things, right? I want to chat with you guys about all of those lots of big things and little things that we have figured out that those of us suffering from thyroid issues, those of us suffering from Hashimoto's or other autoimmunities can really benefit from. I want to share that with you. It's way too much to share in one episode. It's probably hundreds of episodes, right? We could break it down to each one little thing and talk about it. So I'm going to talk about those. I also have a lot of friends and colleagues in associates that are in my field, whether it's in functional medicine, general medicine, endocrinology, surgery, but then also in paraprofessional fields. Some of my friends are breathing experts. Some of my friends are efficiency experts, right? Some of our friends, are just putting together people that are struggling or people that have had success and putting them into groups so that they can create communities, right? I'm going to have those people on this show as well and chat with them about, what they do and how they have, found that they can help, right? So there's a lot of pieces that we can, use there. I want to take our clients, my patients that I've worked with, for months, sometimes years, and let them tell their story of how they were suffering, why they chose to work with Epic, and how they're not struggling anymore, and how success stories. I want to chat with folks out in the public, which again I've been already doing, and collecting their stories and letting them talk about their struggles, their successes, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and really where the roadblocks are to getting care. And I'm just excited to have this podcast because this is my passion. This is my baby. I've spent the last literally 2+ decades trying to understand this one complex thing, the thyroid, and the way the immune system, nutrients, adrenals, sex hormones, mental chemistry, our probiotic load, all of that. How does that all have to come back to optimum thyroid health, optimum body health, turning antibodies negative on labs, so putting autoimmunity into remission, and what do we need to do to get there, and what do we need to live our healthiest life? So I'm excited, like I said, to be sharing this information with you guys. I'm going to be recording this every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central. And I'm recording this on Zoom. So if I'm looking at this camera, this is the Zoom camera, we will be, posting those onto YouTube, organizing them a little bit. And then also, I guess I should say, while we're on the thyroid subject, while you're on YouTube, you'll also notice we have a lot of other videos that are on there. But we also have a thyroid series that we're putting together. What is the thyroid? What does it do? How does it work? What nutrients are involved? All of those pieces, probably busting some thyroid myths, but we have some thyroid series that are in there, some detox series. There's a lot going on that YouTube channel, but we're going to be uploading these directly to that YouTube channel. And we're going to, like I said, start putting these together for you guys so that you have a plan of attack. You don't need to be suffering. I'm in these groups, guys. It's so hard being a thyroid expert. It's so hard knowing at my core that we have cracked the code for Hashis and thyroid problems, and that I know that there are probably very few Hashis and thyroid problems on this planet that we couldn't help. I do know there's 45 million Americans with thyroid and Hashis issues, 27 million that haven't been diagnosed, so that's a large swath of Americans. We're going to focus on those people first, although we do have clients all over the world, right? So what I want you guys to do is just help me get the word out. I want you guys to help me just get the word out that we're doing this, we're collecting stories, have them private message me. I'd like to have you on my show. I'd like to have your friends and family members that are suffering with thyroid and or Hashis and autoimmune issues, have them on my show and let's just talk. Let's just start making sense out of all of this and start giving hope and direction where it seems like there's none. Again, these groups that are out there, I'm a member of probably 20 different Hashis and thyroid groups on Facebook, and I like the idea of them. Tens of thousands of people sharing ideas, except all that it is tens of thousands of people commiserating with no direction, with no help, with seemingly no hope, and they're so desperate. And I'm in these groups and I can't comment because Facebook doesn't allow me, a doctor, to give any medical advice, to give any guidance, any direction. I'm also not, of course, allowed to solicit in those groups, which makes sense. But by even offering advice, sometimes that's seen as solicitation. So we can't do that. basically it's tough. I have a gag order against helping anybody in that group for lots of reasons, lots of legitimate and maybe some not legitimate reasons that we have to respect. And it's so hard knowing what we know and knowing that we can help and knowing that we can pull people out of their struggles and help so much, and yet at the same time not be able to say anything. So I decided to start this podcast. I'm starting my own Facebook group. I'm starting all of these things so that we can actually get some actual practical advice out there and start making sense out of this complex thing that we call Hashimoto's thyroiditis or hypothyroidism or euthyroid 6 syndrome or ESS, or whatever we want to call it. But the thyroid's not functioning. It's tipping over the adrenals. Our adrenals kick into fight or flight mode. We start kicking out adrenaline, so we feel like we're tired but wired all of the time, and something's wrong, and we're always on edge. When that happens, our metabolism gets messed up because our insulin falls, our insulin utilization goes down. We become more insulin resistant. When that happens, insulin goes up, inflammation increases. So now we have the body pain, the headaches, the brain fog, etc. Insulin also tells the body to put on more body fat, store calories as fuel. So now we're gaining weight. And then ultimately our estrogen load typically goes up because we're struggling for energy. The body is trying to go into a survival mode, storing calories. And at that point, we're exhausted. We have brain fog. We're in pain. We can't think straight. We have no libido. We have no mood, memory, focus, recall. We have literally no desire to get out of bed. We've lost our motivation. We're now depressed. We're anxious that it's not going to get, we're worried that it's not going to get any better. And guys, I'm telling you, that's what's out there. And I'm telling you, there's a solution. There are so many solutions, and I'm determined to share them all with you guys. So invite your friends, invite your family. 1 p.m. We're going to be there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to upload these right away. A short episode today. I'm going to try to keep these to 10, 15 minutes, right? Just short in and out. Let's share some information, get some direction, and move forward, right? As people say, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for an hour, right? I don't have time for 90 minutes. I wish that we all did, but we just don't have that much time to invest into our health and into our lives. So I want to keep these really short and really to the point. We're going to cover very specific points every single week, have very short interviews, very specific guidance, and I'm just excited to share all of that with you guys. So thanks for joining me today. I will see you next week right here, Facebook Live, feeding to the Dr. Jason Bradley Thyroid Warrior professional page. I have so many pages. It's crazy, but that's the page we're going to share this on. And then I'll be recording it on Zoom, putting it on YouTube. I love all you guys. If there are things that you want me to talk about, post them in the comments. If there are things, I don't want to put topics in your head, why can't I lose weight even though I'm doing this? How come I'm taking the medicines and I don't feel any better? Hey, is Hashi's a thyroid problem or an immune system problem? How come everybody is treated the same way no matter what the diagnosis is? What else can I do, right? How can I feel better? Why won't my doctor listen to me? There's so many questions that we can answer. Just put them in the comments. I'll make sure to, address those. And again, thanks for joining me today. I'll be back next week. And we're going to start knocking this out of the park, guys. I'm determined by the time I leave this planet, I don't know how many years I got left, but by the time I leave this planet, I want Hashimoto's and thyroid problems to be eradicated. I know that we can do it. I know that we can do it. Thanks for your help. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.